Okay, hello everybody and welcome back. I really hope you're all doing very well. Today we are going to be continuing our series of drawing US states, and we are going to be drawing a map of the state of Washington. Now, as I just mentioned, we've done, I think, maybe 12 or 13 of these before. So if you enjoy this video and you haven't checked out any of the other US state maps that I've done previously, then there should be some sort of link or attachment to the playlist on this video, so I'd recommend that you go and check those out if you haven't already. Also, if you end up enjoying the video, we are trying our very hardest to get to 1,000 subscribers, so I would ask you to consider perhaps subscribing to the channel if you enjoy. But with that said, thank you very much for watching, and let's get into it, shall we? So, to anyone who knows the geography of this state, we have a lot of very complicated coastline up in this northwest corner. What I'm going to do is I am going to, in this pen here, denote the border between the US and Canada, which is slightly less complicated, and then I'm going to go and do the actual, I guess, land border to the water with this pencil here. Okay, so with that said, let's get going. We have a relatively, I would say, rectangular-esque shape here. I just want to make sure that I get it right though, because it would be quite embarrassing to get this one wrong. So, two very nice straight lines, which is an incredibly rare sight in my map drawings that we have straight lines, so I'm very thankful for that. You guys seemed to enjoy my last video, which was the drawing a map of the Red Dead Redemption 2 map, so thank you, I really appreciate that. It was a bit of I guess, something different, and it was a lot longer, but I really enjoyed making it, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed it as well. So as I said, this part here is the border between Canada and the US. But we have, in terms of the actual land borders of the state itself, we've got some water up here and some more, I guess, complicated coastline that we will do our very best to do justice to, so yeah. I'm just going to go straight down here, and then actually there's a little bit of complicated stuff here. I guess these are little, I don't know, bays or harbours, whatever you would call them. And then comes up in a really thin line, like stick there. Okay. Looks a little bit like a witch's finger. So now we have this southern border here, which is the border with the state of Oregon. And once again we have one of those US state borders that is doubles as the geographical line of a river, and it's the Columbia River. Then we actually have to go down a little bit. Then we just sort of have some less complicated wiggly border here. And then to finish we have a nice, it's meant to be a straight line. Okay, so as I say, this is, I guess, the most hard border possible for this map. But what we're going to do with Le Brown pencil is we're going to denote the outlines. We've got loads of little islands here, and the border in terms of land, so we'll fill the rest in with blue to denote the water, but for now so this was actually the pencil that I used for the Red Dead Redemption map, so I could, to be honest, do with it being a touch sharper, so let's do that. There we are. Bit of, if you like your visual triggers, maybe that was pleasing to you. Okay, wow, yeah, this is very complicated border. What I want you guys to do, because you know I like reading you guys' comments, is I want you to drop down below anything interesting that you know about the state of Washington. Okay, we are back. Apologies for the cut. I've recently moved into a new house with new people, and they were having a meltdown about a spider, so I had to put my my big boy pants on and go and take it out, so you have to forgive me. Okay, right, let me get back to where I was.
Okay.
Okay. So, one of the hard parts of this is actually knowing where to actually denote as the land border. So what I'm going to do is the land comes around the same as the, you know, the border between the countries, this way. Yeah, so it comes around. I don't think I fully grasped when I started this how complicated it was going to be, but we will soldier on nonetheless. We're now no strangers to a long video, so we can soldier on. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to Sort of like that, okay, and then there's going to be bits of land that I'm going to have to put in, so I'll do that now. So just bear in mind that all of this part here is going to be water, apart from what I obviously. It's going to make more sense when I put the water in. Okay, and then we've got little bits of island in here, sort of like that. A little bit more detail than that, but just in the interest of getting it done. Okay, we've got and then sort of like that. As I say, very, very detailed and strange. Well, not strange, I guess. Coastline is completely natural, so I guess it's the opposite of strange in a sense, but non-conventional, I guess. There's a little one in there. Then he's got a big brother that comes over here. Like that. Then there's two little guys here and here. Then there's a little thin one there. And then a really thin one here. Like that. Okay. You know what? I'm actually very happy with that. And now locate my blue. That's my grey. Suddenly I can't perceive colour. Let's have a little colour, shall we? We all love a little colouring. So yeah, as I said, please get in touch in the comments and let me know anything interesting you know about Washington State. As a Brit, I am aware of some things about the state, but I'm not too familiar with it. I think it's got a fairly big population, but it's not a massively touristy place, I guess. I think that's probably fair to say. So, yeah, I would appreciate any education that you guys can provide in the comments. As ever, I want it to be a bit of a two-way street in terms of learning things. I'd love to be able to teach you guys a little bit of something, but also if you guys could let me know and I learn a little bit of something as well, I think that's for the best. So focusing up a little bit here. Just while I get this right, because I've put so much detail into the land parts, I just want to make sure I get the water right so it looks proper. Okay. So as I say, this is by no means perfect, and there's definitely little tiny bits of land that I've missed out or I've not particularly got the correct shape for. But I would say I'm fairly happy with that. So what we normally do now is we'll do some cities next. So I'm going to do just about here. We always denote the state capital with a star. That's a bit of a funky looking star, but yeah, I think you guys get the idea. I actually have, where is it? My normal pencil. Yeah. So the state capital of Washington State is Olympia, which I think is a cool name for a state capital. The atypical, very big city but not state capital that seems to be the case in a lot of these states is, and I actually thought that this city was in Oregon, so this proves my ignorance. That's Seattle. Here, sort of in the middle of the two, is Tacoma. I think that's how you say it, Tacoma. And then which other two I want to do? Oh yes, so here we go all the way. That's the wrong colour pencil. All the way down here, nearly, nearly in Oregon. We've got somewhere that shares its name with a big city in Canada, Vancouver. And then finally, we want to go all the way out to about here, in the very eastern part of Washington. For now, I don't really know how to pronounce this. If I had to guess, I would say Spokane. But it could be like Spoken or like Spokane. I doubt it's Spokane, but I think it could maybe be Spoken. I don't know, but yeah. So, as I said, the wiggly part of this border all the way down here is doubles as the Columbia River. Now, I believe I'm correct. It's not exactly clear on this map because it sort of splits into two, just above the what would you call this, terrestrial border, I guess. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, which I usually am, if we're being fair, that the Columbia River comes up, out and left this way. It comes up like this. wrong side. There we are. I believe this is correctly Columbia River. What we're going to do also is just denote the fact that this over here and I guess we can shade it all the way to the edge here. And it obviously comes in here and in here. I'm not going to write it because of space, but we have this little one here is called Gray's Harbour. And then this slightly larger one here is called Willapa Bay. Willapa, W-I-L-L-A-P-A. So Willapa, I don't know. Excuse me. And, yeah, okay. Let's also actually, I got so caught up in doing my water that we've kind of forgot that. I think we got border there. Let's show that we have here, wrong side once again. Here we have, of course, because we're on the west coast of the United States here, we have the Pacific Ocean here. And then I'm going to take my orange and let's get this back in frame. We have the state of Oregon, which is on my radar to do a map of, so don't worry about that. Let's clear the dance floor. And then ID, which I'm guessing must be Idaho. I think they grow a lot of potatoes in Idaho, I think. Maybe that was another very ignorant British stereotype, so apologies if that's so. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to do some mountains because we have a lot of mountains. So I'm just going to do my little triangles first, and then I will write the names. Oh, actually, forget that. It's more like here. So I believe, I think I'm right in saying that are we in the Rockies here? I think we might be in the Rockies, which is why we have so many very, very high peaks. I believe we're in the Rockies, right? Rockies is in the west, Appalachians in the east, I think. Okay, I think that's... Yeah, I believe that that's everything. And also another thing, this little bit here, I'm not going to write it because I don't have enough space, but it's known as the Strait of Juan de Fuca. So, yeah. Whoever he was, I'm sure he was at least important in some way. So this is Mount Baker, which is 10,786 feet, which is about 3,300 meters. This right here is My apologies. 14,417 feet. That is crazy high. I don't know that it's bigger than the one that we put than Mount McKinley in Alaska, but I'm not sure about that. But I'll have to have a look at that. This is Mount Adams, and we're looking at 12,281 feet. This is Mount St Helens. St Helens is a place in the UK not too far from where I live actually as well. Mount St Helens, 8,363 feet, so comparatively smaller but still very, very large. And then, in my opinion, the coolest name, sharing its name with the ancient Greek, I think it's Greek, and also the tallest peak on the planet of Mars, Mount Olympus, 7,980 feet. I'm going to write this very faint, but here is known as the Columbia Plateau, and all across here is known as the Cascade Range. So again, I would guess that that is the Cascade Range within the Rockies, and here we have the it's known as the Olympic Mountains. And there's an awesome place named down here near Vancouver called Battleground. Let me know if you're from Battleground. And there's a place here called Walla Walla. 2 words, Walla Walla. That's awesome. There's some very cool names here. So yeah. Where are we going to write Washington? And what colour are we going to write Washington in? I think we should do it in green. I have no idea why. Roll with it. So just while we're doing this, I believe Washington is, or was rather, the 42nd state in the US. So fairly late on, but obviously the colonies began in the east and moved west, so that makes sense. I believe that it's known as the Evergreen State. That is its, I guess, nickname, in the same way that is Florida the Sunshine State, or is it California? I can't remember. But I think every state has a like a nickname, and this one is the Evergreen State. And I don't think I've got anything else. As I said, the capital is Olympia. The largest city is Seattle. I believe its population, I think it's something like 7.5 million, I think, something like that. And it became a state. That was the other one I had. It became a state. It was the 42nd state, and it became a state in 1889. So that's 100 years at least after the independence, I think, of the country. So yeah, fairly late on. Okay. Well, guys, I really hope you've enjoyed this one. It's been an interesting one, as we've done a little bit of more details over here that probably took up half the video, but we've got a lot of mountains, which isn't typical. But yeah, as I said, I really hope you've enjoyed. If you have, then as I said at the start, please consider liking and subscribing. If you've made it this far, you're a legend. I love you all. Thank you so much. And with that said, I think the only thing left to say is thank you for watching, and I will hopefully see you next